Radiant Black, issue number 27 from Image Comics. So we have 2 issues, and we've had 2 issues for the past few issues. Okay, that sounds confusing. Basically, we have issue 27 and we have issue 27.5. And in the last issue, we had 26 and 26.5 and 25 and 25.5. And the reason for that is we have 2 separate timelines. We have one timeline where Marshall is a Radiant Black, and then we have a separate timeline where Nathan is Radiant Black. And so every time a new Radiant Black comes out, we get 2 separate issues. One with Marshall, one with Nathan. Issue 27 is with Marshall. Issue 27.5 is with Nathan. I'm going to be discussing both of them, but we're going to go through 27 first, and there will be spoilers. Usually I like to keep away from spoilers, but just because of the topic of this video, I kind of need to talk about the spoilers. In Marshall's story, Nathan is chronicling everything about what's going down. Like, war has started, and he decided that he's going to basically be a historian, and he's going to chronicle everything that happened. And so he talks about how Marshall is being trained by the government, and the government have also been given weapons so that they can fight against these creatures, these invaders. And eventually, Marshall has like a meal with 001, aka the saber-wielding dude that the Radiants teamed up to fight in one of the earlier issues. Basically, Marshall's under the impression that he's going to have help with these challenges that he's doing. He has to do these challenges, or otherwise the invaders are going to take over Earth. So he has to like prove himself by doing these challenges. And he believes that he's going to have like the CIA helping him and all these other people helping him. But 001 is like, there is no we. You're the one who has to do it. You better get ready because your second trial begins at dawn. But actually, the second trial happens earlier because in the middle of the night, the evil Radiants, I don't know what else to call them, I guess the monks, show up and start slaughtering the guards. And Nathan comes out and he sees all these dead guards. And that's when Marshall shows up and starts fighting back. When one of them slips this thing onto Nathan's back, that kind of starts like electrocuting him. And they teleport him away. And basically they say, like, you got to do this on your own. You can't have any help. And so Marshall runs away. And eventually he runs to a train station where he grabs the third rail. And the electrocution zaps the thing off his back. And he's back to normal. And they basically say something like, you've proven you cannot function alone without support, without your favorite hanger-ons. That's when Marshall realizes that they're going after Nathan. So he flies to where Nathan's being held hostage. He's like tied to this pillar by this weird purple goop. Hopefully it's not the same goop from Dead Lucky. But yeah, they're about to sacrifice him. When Marshall shows up, he starts like ripping towels off the floor and dropping them on these people. But eventually one of them stabs Nathan and seemingly kills him. Whether he's actually dead or not, we don't know. I guess we'll find out in future issues. But Marshall like goes absolutely berserk and he creates what looks like the Rasengan from Naruto. He creates one in the leader's chest and then he pushes it into the leader's body and it basically explodes the leader's body into a shower of blood and gore. And that's how that issue ends. Meanwhile, in Nathan's issue, where Nathan is the Radiant Black, we have Marshall, I guess, telling us everything that's going down through conversation, through text that he's texting to people. I will say that I hated this setup. I think Nathan writing everything, it's a lot more cleaner. Here, we just have like a bunch of text popping up all over the screens, and it's just very, very annoying to read. Yeah, everything is kind of pretty much the same for the most part, except for when the trial happens. Well, also, Marshall embraces being the Radiant, while Nathan is just a sad sack of shit who's constantly brooding and talking about how he doesn't want to do this, how he'd rather be a writer, and yada, yada, yada. This is why I hate Nathan as a Radiant Black. I find him just an annoying character. He's like one of those where it's like he has this great responsibility, these great powers, and rather than like using them, all he can do is bitch about how he just wants his regular life back and he just wants to be a writer and stuff. And it's like, I find that boring. Like, I'm tired of the stories. That's why I find Marshall to be better. Plus, Marshall has flaws. Like, Marshall is like a complete loser who's never accomplished anything in life. But now he has a chance to actually do something great by being a hero and saving the world. And so he embraces that because he's like, this is my only shot. This is my one chance to do something with my life. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can. Meanwhile, Nathan's just crying. Like he's literally standing out in the field staring out at the ocean like a sad sack of shit. So yeah, I find him very annoying. But eventually he flies back to the base where he finds that all the guards are dead. And so the monks teleport him, slap the thing on his back, which makes his powers like dampen. And they just beat the crap out of him until eventually Zatomi shows up. Radiant Red shows up. And this kind of answered the question that I had while I was reading 27, where I'm just like, why is there this great big alien invasion on Earth and then none of the other Radiants are doing anything? I mean, the only other one that's doing something is Radiant Yellow. He's like, trying to find more information about what's going on and stuff. But what the hell is Radiant Pink and Radiant Red doing? They're doing nothing. They're just sitting with their thumbs up. But here we have Radiant Red actually doing something. So like she shows up and she starts fighting the monks and helping out Nathan. But yeah, they fight the monks. Eventually the monks start arguing amongst themselves about this challenge thing, how this whole thing is like a farce. Like, why are we doing this? This is stupid. Like, why don't we just make the choice for him? It's time for a new vessel. And that's when one of them betrays the other. So one of the monks basically believes that, no, we have to do this trial, this challenge. Like, we can't go against tradition. So she, I'm assuming it's a she because it looks like she has boobs. She basically like causes an explosion, and during this explosion, she uses that distraction to rip the thing off of Nathan's back so he can be able to access his powers. But she immediately gets stabbed from behind and killed. Nathan blasts them, realizes that they have Marshall. He goes to save Marshall, and Marshall is saved, and he's just joking about being covered in purple goop, and then Radiant Red approaches them, and that's how it ends. So I have a feeling that they're going to go with this route, just because it seems like more is being done in Nathan's story than is being done in Marshall's story. In Marshall's story, it's just him fighting the monks, and then he comes to save Nathan, but he's too late, and Nathan dies. Whereas here, he's fighting the monks, he's beating the monks, he's getting saved by Satomi, so we have other characters showing up. Marshall's still alive. I don't know. It feels like the writer wanted Nathan to win, but the votes seem to show that Marshall was the one winning. From everything that I've been reading, like all the different forms of message boards, it looks like a lot of people want Marshall to be Radiant Black. This is just me. This is just my theory. I could be completely wrong. I think the readers want Marshall. I think the writer wants Nathan. And I think the voting is going to be tossed aside, and Nathan's going to get the powers regardless. I'm hoping I'm completely wrong. I hate Nathan as a Radiant. To be honest, I don't really like him as a character in general. I just find him very, very boring. I wish they would do something more with him. Not more as in, oh, he needs to have powers and fighting and stuff. You can have him be like a cool sidekick. Like, sidekicks don't need to have powers to be interesting. Nathan is just not interesting to me. Marshall is interesting. Marshall is the one that, like, he has the flaws. He's the one that's, like, embracing this for reasons. I mean, I already went over this earlier in the video. But Marshall is the one that I want to see become the Radiant. Just reading this, it seems like they're giving Nathan's version, Nathan's timeline, more to work with. Like, there's more things happening there than is happening in Marshall's. It kind of almost feels like the writer wrote 27.5 first, and then he just kind of half-assed issue 27. Again, I could be completely wrong. This is just my feelings reading the two issues. And maybe it's just me. For anyone who's read the two issues, you tell me. You tell me if you agree with me, if you disagree. I am completely okay with you disagreeing. This is just my feelings as I'm reading this. But again, I could be absolutely wrong. Yeah, it really feels like the writer is desperately trying to get people to side with Nathan over Marshall. And I just can't. If Nathan becomes Radiant Black and Marshall gets stuck with the sidekick role, I think I'll be done with Radiant Black. And it's like, I'm already like starting to dip out of comics. Like, it's very, very hard for me to find good comics. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm reading comics that I don't fully enjoy, but I'm doing them because I've already reviewed multiple issues of them. Dead Lucky, for example. I absolutely hate Dead Lucky. I wouldn't be reviewing Dead Lucky if it wasn't for the fact that it was part of the Massiverse. I rather like focus on other stuff. like, I don't know, maybe do more manga stuff. Manga is a lot more easier for me, just because, like I said, it's very, very hard to find good comics nowadays. So I'm already like 1 foot out the door when it comes to comics. If Marshall ends up not becoming Radiant Black, I think I might be just done with this series, and that will be like my final review. And I will probably give up Dead Lucky as well. And the only Massiverse thing I'll stick with would be Rogue Sun until Rogue Sun gets a terrible issue. Because, like I said, like Rogue Sun started off kind of terrible, but it's been good lately. So as long as Rogue Sun continues to be good, I'll keep reading it. But if it goes bad, then I'll dip out of that as well. And then I guess the only thing left would be the Infernal Girl Red, whenever, you know, a new issue of that ever happens. But that's a possibility. I guess it just all kind of depends. Unless the writer is able to pull some kind of magic trick out of his ass and make Nathan interesting to me. Because right now, he's not. So if he has to take the reins of the Radiant Black mantle, I'm done. I'm checking out. So, yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Marshall or Nathan? And do you feel the same way I do? Do you feel like they're trying to push Nathan's timeline as being more important than Marshall's timeline? I'm just kind of getting that sense by what we've been reading, but I could be absolutely wrong. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.